Hey everyone. Alright, today's video is going to be over commission, your objective. I will apply percent knowledge to calculate commission. So commission is the amount that a salesperson earns whenever he or she sells a product. And that commission is a percentage of the price of that product. So some examples of jobs that earn commission: a car salesperson, a real estate agent, and even some retail workers earn commission. So let's take a car salesperson, for example. For every car that he or she sells, that person will get a percentage of the price of the car. So the more that that person sells, the more money they are going to get in addition to what they are already getting paid. So whenever we calculate commission, it is very similar to what we do for tax and tip. So if your commission amount is missing, you just take the percentage rate and multiply it by the original amount sold. Remember, commission comes from how much was sold. So if we have any percents, we want to change them to decimals. Then do our multiplication to find the commission amount. Since this is money, we want to round to the hundredths place, which means rounding to the nearest cent. If it wants the total amount, and here's where it's going to be a little bit different from tax and tip. If we want the total amount that person made, we have to figure out what they were originally paid. Then we're going to add the commission. So with tax and tip, we added the part and whole, but we're not going to do that with commission. We're going to add the part plus the amount that they were originally paid to find out the total amount of money that they would make. So let's do some examples together. Example 1. A salesperson makes 7% commission on apparel she sells. If she sold $1,000 in clothing in 2 days, how much commission did she earn? So what we're looking for is the amount of commission. So since that is what's missing, we know we'll take our percent times our whole. She makes 7% commission. That's our commission rate. The original amount that she sold is $1,000. So before we can multiply with this percent, we must make it a decimal. So we paddle to the left twice and get 0.07. So we're taking the whole times the commission rate. So we have 0 times 7 3 times, and 1 times 7 is 7. I'm not going to multiply by this 0 because we're just going to get more zeros, and that's not going to change the digits in our answer. So I'm just going to count decimal places. We have 2, so I should have 2 in the answer. So this salesperson would make $70 in commission. All right, example 2. Alan makes a commission at 5% on cars he sells at new and used car. He also makes $900 per weekend. Last Saturday, he sold $35,000 worth of cars, and on Sunday, he sold $12,000 worth of cars. How much total did Alan make that weekend? Okay, so let's start by actually identifying everything that they have given us. So they gave us a commission of 5%. So there is the percentage rate. It also says that he makes $900 per weekend. Now, this is not what he has been selling. This is the amount he was paid. He was paid $900, and we know this was a Saturday and a Sunday, so he made $900 that weekend. Now, he sold $35,000 on Saturday and $12,000 on Sunday in car sales. So we've got to add these together to figure out the amount that he sold that weekend. So let's go ahead and do that. 35,000 plus 12,000. 5 plus 2 is 7. 3 plus 1 is 4. So the original amount that he sold would be $47,000. So we have our rate, the percentage, and we have the whole. So to find the amount of commission he makes, we are going to multiply those together. 5%, we must make a decimal before we can operate with it. So we're going to paddle to the left 2 times. So he sold $47,000 worth of cars. He gets a 5% commission. So if we multiply that together, we'll know how much commission he made. So we have 0 times 5 3 times. 7 times 5 is 35. 4 times 5 is 20, plus 3 is 23. And we have 2 decimal places. So he made $2,350 in commission. Now the question wants to know how much total Alan made that weekend. So remember, whenever we find the total, we want to add the part and then how much that person was actually paid. So in commission, which is the part, we know that Alan made $2,350. And he gets paid $900 per weekend anyway, so we're going to add that to the $900 that would have been on his paycheck. And when we add that together, we get $3,250 that Alan made total. All right, example 3. A hairstylist sells $420 worth of beauty products to his customers. If he then receives $21 in commission, what percentage commission does he make? All right, so he originally sells $420 worth of beauty products. So that's this amount sold, 420. He then receives $21 in commission. So here they gave us the part. And what we are missing is the percentage. So in this situation, we have to take the part divided by the whole, which would be 21 divided by 420. Now remember, top dog goes in the house. And we have to add a decimal and a 0. 420 cannot go into 2. It cannot go into 21. And it cannot go into 210. So what I'm going to do there is put a 0. And we've got to add another 0. Now 420 could go into 2,100 5 times exactly. And 420 times 5 is 2,100. So the rate is 0.05, but remember we want a percentage. So we have to make our 0.05 a percent and dip to the right twice. So that would be a 5% commission rate. All right, here is your final U-Try. So make sure that you have answered any other U-Tries in the video. As always, you need to have recorded everything from the video into your notes, including your U-Tries, and make sure you bring your notes to class with you tomorrow so that it can assist you on your assignment. All right, have a good day.